Someone broke CJ's heart. He prayed. He cried. He even asked God to help him forgive, but he couldn't until Jesus showed him something. That changed everything. It all started one ordinary afternoon. They weren't just teammates, they were brothers. CJ believed nothing could ever break that friend. But then one day, everything changed. CJ had been given an opportunity to attend the biggest football trial of his life. He told his best friend Daniel, the person he trusted most. But Daniel was afraid CJ would succeed and leave him behind. So he told the coaches a lie about CJ, and because of that lie, CJ lost his chance. The worst part wasn't losing the opportunity, it was discovering that the person who destroyed it was the person he called his brother. Some wounds don't bleed, they break your heart instead. CJ wanted to forgive, but every time he remembered, the pain returned. Little did he know, Jesus had already given him the answer. Days turned into weeks, but the pain never left. He smiled around people. But inside, he was falling apart. The betrayal started living rent-free inside his mind. Bitterness doesn't just chain the person who hurt you. Sometimes it quietly chains you. The more he replayed what happened, the heavier his heart became. Then one morning, something happened. He wasn't expecting. He opened it, not looking for answers, just looking for peace. What he read would change his life forever. The pages of the Bible became more than words. CJ found himself standing in the middle of Jesus' story. Peter stepped forward with a question many of us still ask today. Lord, how many times should I forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times? Jesus smiled and said, not 7 times, but 77 times. Jesus wasn't counting how many times you should forgive. He was changing the kind of heart you should have. Then Jesus told a story about a servant who had been forgiven everything. And that's when CJ finally realized this story was really about him. Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who decided to settle account with his servants. One servant owed the king more money than he could ever repay. The servant fell to his knees, begging, please have patience with me. Then something happened no one expected. The king forgave every single debt, free. Not because he earned it, but because the king chose mercy. But moments later, he found someone who owed him a little. The man who had been forgiven everything refused to forgive anything. CJ stood there, unable to speak. The servant wasn't just another man. He was looking at himself. Then another memory filled his heart. The people who mocked him, spit on him, and nailed him to the cross. Yet Jesus prayed, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Luke 23:34. If Jesus could forgive the people who crucified him, could CJ forgive one man? Forgiveness wouldn't erase the pain, but it could set him free. The pain didn't disappear, but something else did. The weight he had been carrying. Love forgives, not because the wound was small, but because God's love is greater.